everyone. Appreciate you all being here. US group for this session. We have Bank of Soul today. Bank of Soul is building a future of private crypto finance. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome Greg, the rest of the team. Greg, you can go ahead and start out introducing yourself, talk about your team, and give us a bit of insight into your background experience.
Hey everyone, I just want to start off again by saying thanks for having us. This AMA's been a long time coming, and we're just, we're excited to get here, expand out into the space, and get to know some new faces. But anyways, as you know, my name is Greg, crypto and real life. I have been in retail management for 15 years now. I'm also just starting up my own real estate business as well, in the early works of that. I've been in crypto since 2021. Started, getting familiar with the BSC chain. That's what brought on a bunch of my friends too. And from there, we kind of just, expanded our horizons into ETH, played around with a few projects there, and then kind of got the inspiration to start, leading my own projects as I got more and more familiar with crypto and Web3 and everything it had to offer. I launched a project 2.5 years ago on the Aptos chain. If anyone's unfamiliar with that, it's just an L1 blockchain, and it really got my attention because of the transaction speeds and the fast gas fees. That project is on pause right now as the blockchain is upgrading to a new protocol. So the DEX that we launched on is also upgrading to the new protocol, and in turn we will be as well, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Bank. So Andy and I and Josh kind of had this idea that we were playing around with, that we wanted to launch a token that was a bank of a blockchain. We weren't sure where we wanted to go. And we just, fiddled around with it for a little bit until we finally landed on Sol. And the reason we call it the Bank of Sol is because it is a tax token. So in our tokenomics, we are 7% buy, 7% sell, and transfer tax is pegged to sell, so it automatically goes to 7% as well. Well, I guess Josh and Andy might want to talk first, so I'll let them introduce themselves before I keep going here. I got a little carried away.
Thanks, Greg.
Hey guys, I'm Josh. Just a team member on Bank of Soul. Been in space for 5 years and involved in a variety of different things. Involved with these guys on this team have known them all for a good while, and investing and working together. And glad to be on the team with them. So.
Hi guys, yeah, I'm Andy. Again, same sort of similar story to Josh and Greg. Been in the space now for a number of years. Been through the BSC, through to ETH, and then now landed on Sol. And yeah, we're very excited with what we've got going here on Bank of Sol. And really, yeah, can't wait to let you all know about it.
Yeah, I appreciate the introduction there, guys. Yeah, I mean, you guys been in the space for a few years now, so which is great. You guys have some experience in the space. You see the ups and the downs and the changes and all that. I love the name, Bank of Soul. Now that's what caught my eyes right at the gate, Bank of Soul. Who's this name?
It was kind of a collaborative effort between all of us. Like I said, we were thinking about launching a token with the narrative of Bank. We just weren't sure which blockchain we were going to go with. But again, we landed on Sol, so that's where the Bank of Sol or Bank of Solana derived from.
I think you guys picked the right thing. I mean, you look at it right now, like what Andy said there, went through all the blockchains, right? Theory. I think the reason for that is going to be the accessibility, right? The efficiency, and they bring a lot of people into the space. So that shows the blockchain there. Oh, good. Now, you guys want to pick the bank. Now, let's go in depth into it. Well, first, you guys live, correct? Your chart is live?
Yes, we are live. We've been live for about 5 weeks now.
Okay. Now, how you guys go through a pre-sale and what, did you guys raise money, etc.?
We did a very small 62 sol pre-sale, and that enabled us to launch at around 52,000 market cap. I think launch market cap was.
Okay, 62,000 market caps right now at around. I think the last time that was 200 something.
Yeah, we're sitting at about 210 right now.
So the chart is doing pretty well from the initial launch.
Yeah, so we hit an all-time high of, I think it was about 330,000. We consolidated down when you saw Sol dip to around, I think it was like 109, something like that when it was at its lowest. We went back down to, I think, about 85, 90K. But ever since then, we've been building, in the foreground and in the background. And as we've been building, Sol has been going back up, and then we've obviously been adding layers to what everyone sees coming from us, and then it has allowed us to kind of go along with it. So we're going hand in hand up with Sol. So hence the pump back to 210K. But in the bigger picture, that is nothing compared to where we want to go. But side note here, Andy just sent me a message, and I thought it was only me. When you talk, we're having a hard time kind of hearing you. You're breaking up a bit.
Oh, really? You guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so do I need to go out and go back in, or can you guys hear me? Okay.
I can hear you okay at the current moment. So we'll keep going, and if it poses any more issues, we'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, TG has been having a lot of issues lately. Yeah,
Your
sounds good. So before we go into your utilities, Greg, is there any sort of like vesting tokens that we need to know about, like locked tokens, etc., that almost like getting ready to unlocked?
No, there are no unlocked tokens at all. Everything is tradable. 100% of the supply is tradable. That being said, we hold 8.8% of supply currently. We have not sold a single thing, and it's not for selling. So since we are a tax token, what we are essentially doing with it is, because we hold almost 9%, we accumulate the Sol rewards. So we use the Sol rewards from our marketing wallet to be able to pay for all of our marketing needs, our needs for building, etc. That way we don't have to sell any tokens. So we've kind of put away the supply in order to reflect back so that we can use the Sol in order to keep pushing ourselves forward. And thus far, it's been a fantastic utilization of tokens for us.
Okay, so you guys holding 8.8% of the supply, and you guys are earning rewards through that,
Correct.
which is being utilized for marketing purposes, etc. Now, let's talk about your contract right out the gate. Now, lately we have seen, I think this is 2022 token, right? Solana 2022 token, which is a very unique sort of contract, but we have seen more of this contract popping out lately. Let's talk about that, because I think there are still people out there that do not understand this contract. So it's a tax contract, and in a way, it does kind of work like the old BSC or the ERC20 tokens, correct? I mean, contract, correct?
Yeah, it is similar to your typical EVM chains that are either reflection or reward tokens.
Okay, and all the taxes, are you guys able to adjust the taxes? Do you have that flexibility, or is it like pretty much fixed?
So we have adjusted the taxes. We did a community vote. So anything we do in regards to a tax structure change, we will put to a community vote. We will never do anything without the consent of our community, as we are, a community token that is here to make the space a little better and a little more trustworthy. So in the spirit of full transparency, every time we are to make a change, we do let everyone know beforehand if it's something we suggest, and the community doesn't like it, it doesn't happen. If the community likes it and the overwhelming vote is yes, change it, then we do. So initially our tax structure was only 4% rewards, and now we took out our auto burn, because we did have an auto burn function in the initial contract, but on Solana, because the chain's a little clunky and not builder friendly, when you have an auto burn built into your contract, it throws off your buy bots. So every time, a buy bot comes up in the chart, or sorry, in the chat, it'll show an incorrect market cap. So we didn't want people to either FOMO buy or to sell based on an incorrect price from the buy bots. So we got rid of our auto burn function, added it to our rewards, which became 5%. So right now we are 5% rewards, 1% to LP, and 1% to marketing.
Okay, so which is 7% in and 7% out, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, but you guys do have the flexibility to change your taxes at any time.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. All right. Anything else that we need to know about your tokenomics besides the taxes 7% in, 7% out, and the rewards? How does that work? Is that being done automatically, like almost like a reflection type of thing based on
Yes.
how much you hold?
So rewards, you have to have a minimum of 1 million tokens in order to receive any. As our market cap increases, we will be reducing the amount of tokens needed to be held to earn a passive income. So that, it's kind of all relative. So the price for 1 million kind of always stays within, a certain frame of money. That way, when if we're at like 10 million, we're not going to make you hold a minimum of 1 million tokens, because at that point it would be unattainable for your average everyday investor. So, as we grow, we will reduce the amount of tokens needed to receive rewards. And yeah, so basically what the contract does is it holds the tokens in a pool until it reaches, I believe we've set it at 2.5 Solana being our minimum. And then what the contract does is it sells the tokens into buys. So it won't sell on your chart if there's no movement, but if there's a string of buys and there's a 2.5 Sol minimum, what the contract will do is it will sell into those buys in order to not hurt your chart. And then once it sells, it will distribute that 2.5, 3.5, whatever amount of Solana to all holders holding over 1 million tokens. And it is based on your bag size. So, if you have 10 million tokens or 1%, you're going to get obviously more reflected to your wallet than somebody who's holding, let's say, 1 million tokens or 0.1%.
Okay, so in proportion to your hold being done automatically.
Yes,
okay,
correct.
And it's the base is at 2.5 Solana. Okay. All right, sounds good. Now, I do see 1% Treasury. What is that about?
The Treasury just goes back to the wallet that we hold the tokens in. So it's just another percentage of Solana back to us that we can use for either buybacks, or we can use for more marketing, etc. So we just wanted to, we wanted to maximize our ability to be able to push forward. We didn't want to handcuff ourselves because, a lot of times it's not the issue in our case, but a lot of times, people have issue with funds and they can't push forward. So, we as a team also need a revenue stream, and it has to be, a half decent revenue stream in order for us to be able to properly reward our holders. Because, we could take that 1% off, but at the same time, it's better for us to have a little bit extra in order to do a little bit extra.
Correct. Yeah, well, I think every project, every success project, there needs to be some sort of revenue coming in for marketing, right?
Exactly.
Marketing and development, etc. All right, sounds good. I think that's pretty much wrap the tokenomics there. Now let's go into your utility, and I know that you guys have a few things going on.
Yes, we do. Well, I think we lost you a little bit. Oh, there you are.
I'm still here, but yeah, go ahead, Greg. Where would you like to start out? I know that you guys have physical debit card, and you guys also have a bridge.
Yeah, so I think I'll jump into kind of I'll go into what our shortest explanation is first, and then I'll do a deep dive into some of the bigger utilities that we're bringing out. And so I guess I'll start with the bridge. Now, to me, it does sound like a smaller utility because a lot of people have a bridge. But ours is different. So ours is completely anonymous. So basically what this bridge is it's a Telegram mini app. And it's obviously all run through Telegram. You don't have to connect your wallet, none of that crap. So you're good there. And basically what this bridge does is it takes whatever, say you're going from, let's say, Solana to BSC, right? So you want to exchange some Solana for some BNB. Basically what this bridge does is it sends your funds through multiple CEXs and through Monero. So what it allows it to do is make your transaction completely untraceable because of the steps it's taking to get from point A all the way to point B. So in my opinion, it's a super underutilized utility. We do have a couple people in the Telegram that use it religiously. But to be able to bridge your funds anonymously is huge in the spirit of anonymity, because if you want to take some funds from, let's say, a CEX, like your Coinbase wallet or your Crypto.com wallet, and you want to bridge that into a wallet to play around and have some fun with, or if you just sell something and want to bridge it over because you feel some sort of way about it, it's just there, and people really value their anonymity in crypto. Because there are a lot of shady characters and they want to keep themselves as safe as possible. So to be able to have your money go from point A to point B untraceably is huge. And also one of the things the bridge does is it takes a little longer than your normal bridges because it is going through multiple CEXs and through Monero multiple times. But while doing this, the bot actually arbitrage trades. So why it doesn't just flip the money quickly and there you go. It takes its time and it looks for the best price. It searches for the best price and then exchanges it at those rates. So a lot of the time you'll basically come out net neutral, or just under what you bridged it for. And to me, there's not really any price you can pay on anonymity. So in my mind, it's a crazy underutilized utility that, that I think will grow as we grow. And it's super exciting. And I honestly forget about it sometimes until I see a bridge in the chat. And then I'm like, holy shit, yes. Like, this thing is so much bigger than we make it out to be. But yeah, that's kind of just a brief synopsis on that.
Yeah, so anonymous bridge, and this is done through a Telegram mini app. Now, is this being done? So let's say when this is right within your Telegram room, correct?
Yeah.
Or is this like, wow, okay. So when somebody,
so
when someone does a bridge, like the whole room able to see it, is that what's happening, or how does that work?
So when you are in the mini app via Telegram, so it's just like any chat. Like if I was to DM you, or just like any other bot, it's the same thing. You slash to view. Yeah, you just put the slash in to view, your progress, all that kind of stuff. And the bot tells you, there's 3 steps, and it takes you through all 3 steps as the money is being moved. So, yeah.
Now, are you guys earning anything off this bridge? And if you guys are, what's the revenue going to?
We earn a very small percentage right now. We didn't want to make it, anything that was too crazy, because we don't feel like, we need to be removing money from people. So it's 0.5% of the transactions made.
Okay, 0.5%.
Correct.
Now, regarding initially, you mentioned, correct, that you guys had an auto burn, which the intention was to burn off the total supply, right, to reduce the supply, which ultimately bring value to the token. Now, you guys had to take that off due to the bot, etc. Now, are you guys plan to bring that back at some point, or are there any other strategies later on for that, or?
Yeah, so we decided that instead of using the auto burn, we were going to give it 2 rewards, obviously. Now, we wanted initially to make our supply deflationary, and that's why we did the auto burn function. But because it was kind of, misconstruing the market cap, we didn't want anyone to think, there was misinformation in it, and, something was going on that they didn't understand. And that's why we got rid of it, because we want to be as transparent as possible. But that being said, in the future, well, not in the future, I say that like it's long term, but in the near future, we will have some other revenue streams in which we will be using to burn some supply. That way, we can continue with the deflationary aspect of it, keep the supply going down and keep the price going up. So we do have plans from one of our utilities that I will talk about to do buybacks and burns.
And I think it would not be hard to implement. You guys can always manually buy back and burn, all right?
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
A very easy thing to implement. All right, sounds good. Anonymous bridge guys through the Me app, just like any other regular app, and you send money or bridge money anonymously. So that's actually pretty good. I personally use a lot of those bridges personally myself. I think it's actually really cool that you're able to do that. But now that you have a Me app, that you guys can do that as well. Sounds great. Now, is that live there, Greg?
Yes, it is. Also, so the bridge does have a fee to use. The fee is 3%, but if you, we have it, so if you donate 0.25 SOL to our marketing wallet, the bridge fees come down to 1% for a lifetime.
Okay, so 3 SOL, and it comes out to 1% lifetime. Okay, what is the time frame you would say? I know it depends on the ingestion and all that, but what is the average time frame you think to move money?
So it depends. Honestly, there's so many different things it could depend on, like time of day, which chains you're going to, blah blah blah. But I would say our average time right now is about, I'd say 10 minutes.
Okay, well, that's not bad at all. 10 minutes is not bad at all, especially doing a bridge.
Exactly, and
10
for
minutes,
the, for it being completely anonymous, it's definitely huge.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, now let's go to the next one. I know that you have a couple of things you guys are working on as well.
Yeah, so I guess we can introduce our Visa debit solution. So this is being finalized right now. It is a white label Visa debit solution under Zipto. We are bringing to market with our Bank of Soul branding a physical KYC card based out of Panama. This card is usable worldwide. It has a $150,000 limit. So when I say that, I mean you can load up $150,000, and that's kind of your cap on that one. And again, worldwide. So, anyone looking for a Visa debit solution, want to spend their crypto, the Panama solution is for you. It's $25 to get the plastic version, but we also have a custom Bank of Soul branded metal card. So that one's going to be wicked. That's what I'm going for. It'll look incredible, and we actually have the design being made up right now. It should be done either, with it by the end of this week for sure. There is a 30-cent transaction fee. So again, very minimal in terms of fees on that card. There is a 3.5% top up on the card. So you put in $100, you pay $3.50. You put in $1,000, you pay $35, so on and so forth. So that is our first option, and what everyone was the most excited about seems to be our non-KYC virtual Visa debit. So this one, you will not have a physical option, but you will be able to load it up onto your Apple or Google Pay. And again, it is a non-KYC, same top-up fee of 3.5%. There is no transaction fees on this one. But it does have a maximum of 10,000, and it is not reloadable. But that can also be a good thing. So if you don't want to be using the same card all the time. You don't want to be limited to the same card all the time. This one's free. You can throw, a few dollars on, a couple $100, a couple $1,000, with a maximum of 10,000, and you can spend however, you feel like in store, online, like I said, whoever you feel, up to $10,000. And if you want to get a different card, you just have to go through the process, again, of getting a different number, basically. So this one is a US based solution. It's available in 170 countries, but there are 20 states, which we have a list of accessible states, but there are 20 of them in the US that currently do not support it, even though it is US based. But Zipto is working on bringing these states to market. They were just doing it, excuse me. They were just doing it with whom they felt like was priority. So they're just going by one, doing it in priority sequence as they feel necessary, and securing these states. So again, there are 20 that aren't supported, but those 20 will be supported eventually. So yeah, that's what we have right now. So we have a non-KYC, $15 to get it, and you have that card for up to $10,000, and you can spend via Apple or Google Pay, and you don't have to show anything to get that card. The physical Panama-based one, again, $25 for the plastic, $100 for the metal. It is a KYC, but it's not a face scan KYC. It's just any form of government-issued ID that obviously isn't expired, and a bill, a utility bill, a phone bill, anything, confirming your address within the last 60 days. So those are our two solutions. They will be available via our dashboard, which we are in the final stages of working on. I don't want to say exactly when it's going to be ready, because, shit happens sometimes, but we are at the very end of this race, and we're ready to rock and roll with this.
Right. So the virtual crypto debit card, no KYC card, say 10,000, correct? So meaning that, let's say I can load up my crypto now, USD, I'm assuming, is correct.
So we also have a list of supported. I'm just trying to find it here. Yeah, I actually have it right in front of my face. We have a list of supported tokens and coins. So, oh my God.
Man, yeah, we're getting cut off pretty bad here.
Yeah, I know.
I cut off too. Let me go.
Okay.
I went in quick, okay? Because I can't
No
hear
worries.
you either.
Hear you fine. It was just Seattle I couldn't hear.
Could you hear me fine, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. I could hear you perfectly. It was Seattle I couldn't hear.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back now. Do you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, that's much better.
I just I wanted to add one more thing about the Visa debits. So they neither of them report to Uncle Sam. Just so everyone knows, neither of these options report any of your spending. So there is, that's kind of a layer of anonymity that we like to see. That people can, keep their spending kind of separate. So yeah, there's that layer too, which, you have a non-KYC that doesn't report, and then you have a Panama base that doesn't report either. So, those are two, I think, two big points as well.
Yeah, I think those are very important points there. Now, Greg, I couldn't hear you for a second there. The virtual crypto debit card, I had to go Alan in again, but now I'm assuming that you have to load up just stable coins only, correct? Like USD, or can I load up Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other forms of cryptocurrency?
Yeah, before you got cut off, let me jabber real quick on what we can support. So you can load it up with Floki, Solana, USD, BNB, ETH, BTC, XRP, XLM, Shiba Inu, USDC on ARB. Load up with Base, Solana again, obviously, TRX, Baby Doge, USDC on Matic, USDC on BEP20, so Binance Smart Chain. What else do we got? USDC on ERC20, which is Ethereum. Pepe ERC20. USDT Sol, USDC Poly. Wrapped ETH on ARB, USDT on ARB. Cake, obviously, which is BSC's native token. And USDC, USDT on Avalanche. So there are a crazy amount of options right now. And any token or coin can be added to a form of payment. They just have to get listed on their platform and provide a certain amount of liquidity, essentially.
Okay. So the coin has to provide the liquidity. Okay, so I guess I'm assuming that during the transaction, the point of transaction, it converts automatically.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. I definitely like that debit, but like you said there, right? No Uncle Sam involved. So I think that's gonna be a very crucial point. Because as we know, I'm not sure about other different countries, but in the U.S., once you offload your money, it's like a 35% depending on your tax bracket, but it's like 35% to Uncle Sam immediately, right? And
Well, you're cut off again.
Hello?
All right, got you back.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm being kicked out.
Singled out.
I know. Yeah. Somebody's rugging me. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's actually a very crucial point, right? I like that virtual crypto debit card, no KYC. Now, the other one you say up to 150K, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty high. 150K is pretty high. But you do need it does require some sort of verification.
Yeah, so it just it requires a KYC. So like I said, a piece of valid ID, obviously, and then a utility bill or a phone bill or something, reconfirming your place of residence, obviously. And then that's all you need for that one, and then you can load up to 150K.
Okay. So you guys, yeah, I mean, now hence the name Bank of Soul, right? So that's
yeah. It definitely added the an extra layer to the name.
Definitely. All right, sounds good. Now, you did mention something about a time frame there. I did miss it. Can you repeat that? The time frame that these will be live here?
So yeah, we are in the process of creating our dashboard with the Zipto team. So our dashboard is what we will use to see our users, check the funds we've made from fees and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just a central hub for us to come to see how our card is doing, essentially, and basically run it like a business. So that's getting set up right now. We don't know how long that's going to take because we've never done it before. So we're just going through it with the team, but we have the dashboard set up. We are ready to go in that sense. I think we just have to, add some final touches. So we are at the absolute peak of this, ready to go over the other side. So we will be ready, ASAP.
Okay, sounds good. Now, I see that Andy is here, you, Greg, obviously, and Josh as well.
Yes.
How many people, you guys obviously are the main people in the team. Is this pretty much consistent of the team here, or do you guys have more people behind the scenes?
We have a couple more people behind the scenes. We kind of use them as in an advisory role. And then we also have a whale group too. So, anyone that holds over 10 million tokens or 1%, we kind of use them as advisors as well. We Josh, Andy, and I kind of do the legwork, and then we invite all of the people in the background to kind of help us make these decisions. Because every step forward we don't take lightly, and we want opinions because the three of us could think it's a good idea, but 25 other people think it's an absolute garbage idea. So to be able to have a general consensus of, better ways for us to move forward, we definitely utilize, our community members that really believe in what we're doing, and share the same sentiment and the same vision as us to help us, make the best decisions moving forward.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, the chart is live right now. I have no idea what's going on. I'm being kicked out like every single minute. But yeah, you guys able to buy the chart, guys. So right now, if you guys look at the banner, the chart is on there. So if you guys are interested in the project, make sure you join the TG, and you guys are able to buy into the chart. Now, Greg, the token is obviously still new. Tax contract. How secure is the contract?
It is very, very secure. So we have had, not a single issue since launch. The devs that we have that have built the contract, they are known to one of the people in our advisory role, and they're also in a couple spaces with some other people that we are pretty close with. So, in terms of security, we have had absolutely no issues. Everything has functioned 100% as it should. And the dev team has the full support of us, and we have the full support of them. And, they've been nothing but transparent with us the entire time. And, everything we've asked them to do has been done and has gone off without a hitch. So, in terms of where we can go with this, it's limitless because, we have a team of people that are, trusted, and I think we're in a great place in terms of security.
Sounds good. Now, I know that tax contract, from BSC and Ethereum, etc., it was a big hit, right? I mean, that was one of the biggest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you guys be in the space for a while now. You guys definitely also have been through that time frame. Now, would you say that, Josh? Now, usually now, when you have so many Solana, I would say probably 98% of the contracts still zero. There's no tax on there, right? Which also a lot of people like it because it also helps with the volume. Have you noticed anything that would be like affect the volume based on the taxes, or?
I don't think taxes really affect the volume. I think, so Solana is just a different chain, and it's hard to compare to, your 2021 tax tokens on BSC and ETH because you didn't have so many institutional investors buying at a blockchain level and not on a decentralized level. And also you didn't have, so many celebrities coming and absorbing so much of the market share and kind of, I guess, fear-mongering the space essentially. So this is a lot different than it was last time. And volume is inherently, I would say 75% luck to get, a crazy amount of it. But volume is what we are dependent on as a rewards token, but it's not what we're dependent on as an overall token. So revenue share is something, we will have out of our next utility. And like I said, we're going to have the ability to do buybacks and burns and buybacks, and we can even redistribute tokens and all of that. And I think once we come full circle as an ecosystem, that volume will consistently come back. But we're not really dependent on it right now. Like, yes, we're a rewards token at face value, but if you dig a little deeper, there is a lot more coming that will reward just as much, if not more, than the rewards will, and they're just kind of an extra bonus. And as we roll out the debit card, and as we roll out our liquid NFTs, and as the bridge catches more hype, and as we continue to build other things, I think people will come over and they'll start buying the chart because they see that there's so much coming back, and then volume will come back as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you guys are an investor, and if you're in the right token, working with the right team, I mean, with the rewards, that is residual income, right? So residual
Yeah.
is actually very, very important. So right now, you guys able to earn 5% based on your holding, but you have to have what, 1 million? What is that 1 million? What does that equate to in USD right now at the current price?
Give me 1 second. I'll tell you. It's not a whole heck of a lot right now. So 1 million, 1 million is equivalent to about $210.
That's not bad at all. That's not
No,
bad at all.
no. So it's still fairly cheap right now in order to earn rewards. Now, that being said, you buy 1 million tokens, you're not going to get $100 a day back in Solana. It is based on bag size. So, the more you hold, the more you're going to get reflected back to you. So 1 million is the minimum, but the more you hold, the more you're going to get back.
Right, right. And like you mentioned a bit earlier there, you guys will adjust that accordingly. If the price goes up too high or the market cap goes up too high, to ensure that it's accessible to the newcomers as well. Correct?
Exactly. So we're at 200 and change right now for market cap. If we go up to 2 million, it would just make sense to reduce the amount of token holdings by about 10 times, as that would be our market increase. So that would reduce it to about 100k tokens. And if we went back down to 200k, we would bring it back up to 1 million. If we went up to, let's say, 10 million, we would again reduce it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, Greg. Well, I think we covered pretty much everything. Did we miss anything?
Oh, we missed one more utility.
Oh, let's do it.
So I'll quickly go over this one. As there's a lot to chew on with this. Right now, what we're working on finalizing is a liquid NFT launch. And I'm not too sure if anyone is familiar with liquid NFTs, so I'll kind of give a brief synopsis of what they are, and the platform we're launching on first off. So the platform we're launching on is Liquid NFT Finance. So this platform was created and is owned by Nathan Hill. If anyone is unfamiliar with Nathan Hill, he is the owner of Crypto Magazine. So basically, this platform is a kind of a rejuvenation of the NFT space, and to give them value that does not currently exist in the space. And when I say that, I mean you can buy a Bored Ape, let's say in 2021 when they were selling for $1 million, and right now you'd sell it for $10,000 if you're lucky. So what this platform does is it inherently gives value to NFTs by adding liquidity to them. And how it does it is, for every single mint, so let's say your NFTs are minting at $100. For every NFT that mints, 50% of that mint price goes into a liquidity pool. Now, that liquidity pool is one big liquidity pool on the platform, but your individual NFT is a little puddle in that pool. So when you mint your NFT, it goes into a pool, but it also goes into an individual pool. So if you're spending $100, you're only risking $50, because 50% of those funds go into a liquidity pool individualized for your NFT. So as the platform grows, as more projects launch, and even as your own collection mints, the NFTs start to earn value, because for every mint that happens after you mint, there is also a 10% fee. So that 10% out of that 10%, 5% goes to the platform, and 5% goes to the liquidity of every NFT on the platform. So again, $100 mint fee, $5 from every single mint goes to the overall liquidity on the platform. So for every, you mint the first NFT on a collection of 3,000 and they're $100, $5 goes into the entire liquidity for all 3,000 or 2,999 of those NFTs, and you earn a portion of it. The next project that launches after you, 5% goes to your individual liquidity again. So it continues to bolster the value of your NFT, and your NFT can never go down. So Right now, he has a project on the platform that has a 90% LP ratio, and they've been on the platform for just under 3 months right now with 29 projects on the platform. So you think about it, you get to a 90% liquidity ratio after 3 months of 26 projects. There are another 160 projects committed to launching on the space, us being one of them. So you take 160, you divide it by the 29 that are on there, that's an extra that's 5 times as many projects coming in. So if it took 3 months to get 90% of your liquidity ratio, well, now you can reduce that by almost 5 times because there's that many more projects. Also, all secondary sales on the platform are privy to a 20% tax. So 10% of it goes to the listing project, 5% to platform fees, 5% to liquidity. And, people are going to ask, why would I pay 20%? Why on earth would I pay 20% on the sale of an NFT? Well, here's why. Because if you were to buy my house, and I could guarantee you that it would double in price every year for 10 years, but all I asked for was 20% at the end of it, would you sell it, or would you buy it from me, or would you buy it without that guarantee and hope the market, provides well enough for you to sell it at such a price later down the road? Why would you take the gamble when you can pay, 20% and have intrinsically increased value? And one more layer to it is, for every NFT that sells into their liquidity pool, that NFT becomes burnt. So it disappears from the collection, goes off and finds its place on the internet wherever it wants to be, and it just inherently reduces supply. So now your supply is deflationary. You are earning primary and secondary fees from the platform on your own individual pool. So now you have NFTs that do nothing but go up in value, and the only thing you're risking right at initial mint is 50%. So that is our utility, our next utility going forward. So the secondary sales, since we get 10% of all secondary sales on the platform, we haven't decided whether we're going to send it back to NFT holders or token holders. But we're going to use that 10% as like a buyback function. So we can buy back tokens, we can buy back NFTs, we can add liquidity to our own collection. Afterwards, we can do anything we want. So all secondary sales tax we will use to feed the ecosystem. So yeah, that just adds an extra layer. Sorry, that was a mouthful.
That is a very smart strategy. So the whole purpose of this is all residual income one, but also is to provide LP to the project, correct?
Yeah. So it adds individual LP to the NFTs themselves.
Right, but ultimately, you guys are building liquidity to your project, which is the core intention of this concept, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think that's actually very smart. Not only you guys, investors, but to provide LP, but on top of that, it's structured in a way that they keep on earning, right? They keep on earning. So I think that's actually crucial.
And
very smart idea.
Since we are a first mover on the platform, they have committed to a $5,000 to $10,000 marketing budget for us. And we will have a feature in Crypto Magazine as well. Okay,
sounds good. Now, obviously you guys are working on this with a bunch of teams now committed already. When is this going live? The expected date?
Our collection is done. Our metadata is done. We are just in the midst of nailing down our some of the art that will have to be featured on the platform, like our logo and our banner and what have you. So once those are nailed down, we will be putting them up on the platform with probably about a week-long countdown. So I would say, well, maybe not even a week. So I would say anywhere from Tuesday to Thursday of next week, we will be live.
Oh, wow. Okay. So very soon.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right, guys, we'll keep an eye out for that, because it feels that if you are the first people, the first person to come in, that's where the most of the benefits are at there. So I think that's the huge incentive there.
Exactly.
Early adopters. So early adopters get the biggest reward because it seems like everybody else after that, you eat a little percent from everyone else after that. So it's
Exactly.
actually pretty cool.
And with 160 or 159 other projects committed, that's there's no better time than now to take advantage of this platform.
Sounds great, Greg. So it seems like you guys are working on a few things. It's good to see some projects that are actually with utilities, and that's what you guys are doing.
Yes, sir.
And you guys also have a lot of experience in the space as well. Yeah, I mean, great presentation. I know there's a lot of questions in the room, guys. So under the banner, Greg, there's a lot of questions. But during the AMA, we usually answer, like I would say, 98% of the questions. But I'll tell you what, though. After this, my team of Mike is going to pin their TG inside the chat room, okay? If you guys join the chat room, ask questions over there, and we will go there and pick a winner for joining or just asking a great questions over there, okay? So we're not going to skip the question today, but go over there, ask questions, and we'll go over there, and Mike's going to pick like a $10 winner over there. Does that sound good, Greg?
That sounds fantastic. We're more than happy to answer absolutely anything.
Sounds good, guys. So yeah, make sure you join the TG, guys. Looks like the team, they're working on a few things, actual utilities, but it seems like the whole purpose around the token is to give you guys rewards, which ultimately is residual income, right? So which is very important. Yeah, sounds good. Very good presentation, Greg. I think we cover everything.
Yes,
now.
Sir.
Sounds good, brother. So with that being said, Michael, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So at this point, Mike or Greg or anyone from the team, we didn't go ahead and pick one winner as just to give it back, a way for us to give back for participating this AMA. So Greg or Mike, go ahead and pick one winner, and are we doing some random number too, Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Greg pick the random listener. You can just DM me the person's at there, so to put on the banner after. And yeah, we're gonna do a random number. Let's see, we'll do between 1 and 200. Each participant will get 5 guesses only. And good luck to everybody on that. Again, great presentation, Greg, Andy, Josh. Good having you guys here.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate all your time, everyone for coming, and I hope everyone has a fantastic day wherever you are. And thanks again, guys. We appreciate your time.
You as well, guys. So make sure you guys click on the link, do further research, join the X, but we're going to pin the TG, okay? Make sure you join the TG. And Mike is going to go there, pick a winner. Do not spam the room. Maybe ask a good question, etc. Feedback maybe, but do not spam the room. And, yeah, make sure you join the room. Thank you so much, Greg, Andy, and Josh.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, that wraps it up, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Take it easy, USA. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.